he goes for it. And that's tough because you're sitting there looking at all those 71, 72 mile an hour curveballs, and all of a sudden he has the ability to zip one by you at 93.
Here's the cleanup batter, the left fielder Elkins. He's a junior, hitting .265. 7 doubles, but 11 home runs. That's inside. It's not playable by McManus. And the Tigers have really been plagued by wild pitches and pass balls this year. There have been an extraordinary number, no matter who might be catching.
Fastball that just completely misses the location. That's about a 24-inch miss. As McManus was set up on the outside corner, that ball almost hit the batter, and he just couldn't glove it.
That's a wild pitch to move the runner to third. Elkins has had success in scoring runners in scoring position, batting .341 this year. That's the best on the team with runners in scoring position. First base is open, 33 driven in for Elkins. Only topped by Willis, who's on deck. He's got 45. 2-1 now. A walk, a ground out, a strikeout, and a wild pitch. Jake Hayes is at third base.
This is one of those examples what I talked about. Jeffrey Elkins is only a junior in eligibility, Lynn, but this is his 5th season. In college baseball. He spent a year redshirted in 2018 at UL before coming to Northwestern State, and that's an oucher. Collins right now not finding his release point. He's missing arm side badly the last few times he's thrown the fastball.
Normally it's LSU that gets bruised at the plate. The Tigers are one of the leading teams in the nation in being hit by pitches. But there was no chance for Elkins to get out of the way, and now here's the leading RBI producer for the Demons in Bo Willis.
Oftentimes when you get hit by a pitch, it just grazes you or catches a toe or clips you. That was full meat right there on Jeffrey Elkins. My goodness. Northwestern State does a pretty good job of staying in there and getting hit by a pitch. Must be a Louisiana thing.
Only 4 teams in the country have been hit by pitches more than LSU. And out of the 300 or so baseball playing schools, Northwestern is 30th.
Yeah, Southeastern is number 1 in the country.
That's a fair ball. The run's going to score, and no place for Collier Cranford to do anything with it. Bo Willis hit one down the line behind the bag at third.
Now, is this ball fair or foul? Jay Johnson's out having a conversation with the umpire, and clearly he says fair ball. It did look like it probably caught a little of the bag. I think this is just as much of a frustration that his player did make the play as anything.
So LSU, which is last in the SEC in fielding percentage, commits a first inning error. Jay Johnson is arguing that the ball went foul before the bag. And right here, it appears he might have a case. It's fair right now, but on this bounce right here, is it foul?
That hits the chalk, Lynn, to me.
But where was it when it crossed the bag?
See, all it has to do is literally pick a sliver of the base. A sliver of the base. And so that's so close.
If it crossed the base, that's considered a fair ball, no matter where it lands past the base.
Now the question is that Jay Johnson's got a point that if the ball hits the bag, if the ball is left of the chalk prior to the bag, then obviously it's not going to go fair. But on the replay that we saw, it was sort of inconclusive. I thought it caught some of that chalk on that second bounce.
But that bounce on the chalk was before the bag,
yeah.
So it still had a little bit to go. This is the only angle we have.
Watch that second bounce right there.
but still maybe 2 or 3 feet to go before it gets to the bag.
I get it, but once if there's no argument to be made if that ball is on the chalk, then it's just the umpire's discretion. And look, there's the seat. You can see the ball mark.
Right, but there's 3 more feet. That's irrelevant.
I get it, Lynn.
Right
I get it, Lynn. But the point is that if it hits left of the chalk, then it's clearly foul. That's
Correct.
a no-brainer. But the fact that it's on the chalk means it's up to the umpire's discretion.
That's right.
And in his mind, it caught a little bit of the bag. And I agree with him. I think it probably did catch a little bit of the bag because it's so close to the base. When it hit the chalk, it probably caught the corner.
We have come to the same conclusion, you and I.
So
I thought it was a good call.
There definitely wasn't enough on that replay to overturn it. They should have taken Jay Johnson out to the chalk line and said, look, here's the ball mark right here.
So a 1-0 lead for Northwestern State. It's an unearned run. A walk, a hit batter, a wild pitch, and an error. That's not the combination you want to open the game with in the first inning. Gray Rowlett is a freshman. 3 homers. Collins from the stretch, runners at second and first, and he works the fastball by Rowlett.
Right now, Collins is missing everything on his arm side, so that means LSU's got to call fastball away, maybe even fastball off the plate away from a righty, just to make sure the ball leaks back over the plate.
Rowlett smashes that one into the LSU dugout.
Heads up.
Somebody got hit. Somebody's down on their knees in the dugout. That is Jobert, I believe.
Yeah.
And that hit him solidly.
He's just, I think he's going to be okay. I can see him from my angle, and he didn't get hit in the face or anything like that. He just got hit probably where you don't want to be hit.
A pop-up on the left side and foul ground is handled by McManus. And that ends the inning. But an earned run by the Demons has given Northwestern an early lead with the Tigers.
I'm the CEO, manager, director of marketing, all in one. I'm working on designs for social media content, editing videos. Windows 11 helps me do all that.
You look just like Blue. Is she your mother?
Do you remember the first time you saw a dinosaur? First time you see them, it's like a miracle.
We went to Walgreens.
You never get used to it.
Rated PG-13. Like pulsing electric shocks, sharp
I'll call
stabbing pains,
I'll
or an
call
intense burning sensation. What is this nightmare? It's how some people describe shingles, a painful blistering rash that can interrupt your life for weeks. Forget social events and weekend getaways. If you've had chickenpox, the virus that causes shingles is already inside of you. If you're 50 years or older, ask your doctor or pharmacist about shingles.
The Demons pushed across an unearned run in the first without the benefit of a base hit and lead 1-0. Dawson Flowers is making his first start for Northwestern State. He's a sophomore out of Brookhaven, Mississippi. He carries 210 pounds on a 6'4" frame. No wins this year and a couple of losses.
There you see 24 innings pitched so far. I imagine we'll see a number of Northwestern State relievers as they have their conference tournament this weekend. Got a whip of almost 1.5. His last pitched against New Orleans on May 13th. Went 2 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned, a walk and a strikeout. Has a little funky kind of sidearm action. different look that he'll present these LSU hitters. Spent 2 seasons at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College.
Yes.
Here's LSU's lineup.
I don't know, Mom.
The first 3 hitters are above 300, but nobody else. LSU is without the services of Gavin Dugas today. Alex Milazzo is mending a bit. It's possible we could see him this weekend. Cade Veloso will not play this year after the knee injury. And Jacob Berry, an update on Jacob Berry is that he is nearing readiness to play, and we might see him this weekend against Vanderbilt in Nashville. Berry suffered that hairline fracture on a middle finger. That .395 average in conference play is the best in the SEC. So the Tigers would dearly love to get this valuable switch hitter back in the lineup. You can see the tape, Ronnie, on that finger.
It does look like the tape's getting smaller and smaller.
Yes,
right? I think
yes.
Maybe in a few more games there'll be no more tape, because a week ago there were multiple fingers taped up. We saw metal. Last game was a little bigger. Now it's maybe he's getting closer to playing. This lineup is completely different without Berry, because they have the ability to kind of pitch around Dylan Cruz a little bit. That 375 with 15 homers. You take that out of any lineup, you're going to feel it.
Pearson is hit by a pitch. LSU, for the 98th time this year, has been hit by a pitch. That is the #1 number in the SEC, and only 4 teams in America have been hit by pitches more than LSU.
Now that also helps the situation with Dylan Cruz. They moved him to the 2nd spot. And with Pearson getting on base, now they kind of have to go at Dylan Cruz a little bit.
Pearson is battling the sun down at first base. You might see him shading his eyes as he stares down the pitcher. You can see him squinting there. On the previous pitch, he was holding his hands above his eyes. And there's a good fastball strike. Cruz batting .335, 17 home runs, 56 driven in. Both of those power numbers are near the top in the SEC. Cruz is hit by a pitch. So the Tigers, for the 99th time this year, have worn a bruise. That's the 76th batter that Northwestern pitchers have plunked this year. That's a big, big number.
All right, do they get to 100 tonight?
Defensively, for the Demons, it lines up like this. Elkins and Fontenot and Coliani in the outfield. Hayes and Rowlett are the corner infielders. Sibley and Stewart at shortstop and second base respectively. Flowers and Sorensen form the battery with Willis the DH. .99 bruises on the wall this year for the LSU Tigers. First 2 batters here in the bottom of the first have been plunked. And Morgan, who's been red hot over the last week and a half, has an RBI opportunity. He sends a loud foul out of play on the left side.
Now Flowers coming into today, 2nd on the team for Northwestern State in hit batters. He came in having plunked 9 batters in only 24 innings. Make it, and there it is, there's 100. A hat trick already in the first inning for the Tigers. And that's now 12 hit by pitches this year for Dawson Flowers.
So 98, 99, and 100 already hit by a pitch. The first 3 batters have been smacked by pitches from Dawson Flowers. Here's Cade Doty. LSU hit by 100 pitches now this year. Ronnie, that's 2 a game.
You know, in basketball at the PMAC, there's a promotion that if the Tigers score more than so many points, I don't know, 80 or 90 points, everybody can bring their ticket to Raising Cane's to get a 2-for-1 meal or something out. Next year, LSU Sports Marketing is going to have to come up with a hit-by-pitch promotion.
Sure.
You know, so many in a game or so many in a season, because they're going to break all sort of records the next couple of years in that category.
You got a free tube of Ben Gay. Will there be a play at the plate? There is not, and there is a misfire at first base. There was contact there, and that knocked the glove and the ball away. And LSU is going to get some runs out of this.
Boy, this is a clunky inning for Northwestern State. This should have been an out. Instead, it ends up being 2 runs for the Tigers. Now, Cade Doty with the bases loaded, nobody out, being aggressive, swinging at the first pitch, trying to get the run in. He jams himself. There's going to be an opportunity for a play at the plate, but couldn't field it cleanly, decided to go to first, and I think that's going to get ruled an infield hit.
I couldn't argue if it is. But it won't be.
I thought maybe they give him a hit and an error, but instead they gave him
There should be an RBI on it. 1 RBI. Everybody advanced 2 bases, as it turns out. So Pearson scores. Cruz scores. Morgan winds up at third, and Doty, after an RBI and an error, is at second base. And here's Tyler McManus. Tyler McManus has found his offensive stroke the last 3 weeks. That's fielded on the backhand side by the shortstop, and nicely done with a strong throw. But Trey Morgan crosses the plate. McManus garners his 22nd RBI of the season. And the LSU Tigers have a 3-1 lead without a base hit. So, Ronnie, we've had 4 runs in this game scored in the first inning without a base hit.
And here's Braden Joubert, who got hit in the dugout when Northwestern State was batting.
He chops this one weakly toward first base, but that may have gotten a piece of Joubert. He's already been bruised twice.
He might want to just go have a seat. You know, this isn't his night.
He got smashed by a foul line drive and literally went down on his hands and knees in the dugout floor. And then he fouls one off of his leg.
If Coach Burtman were the coach for the Tigers, he might go tell him, "Hey, Joubert, go have a seat. We'll try it again next month." You know, because he is. The Tigers don't want to get him injured before the big weekend against Vanderbilt.
So again, if you missed it, just the medical update. Let's take another look at this.
Watch that front ankle.
Right off the top of the front ankle.
Didn't catch any of the shoe. I mean, that's just straight bone and meat.
So Veloso will not play this season. Milazzo is getting nearer playing, and he might see some duty this weekend. Same thing with Jacob Berry. If Berry does not play this weekend against Vanderbilt, we are told he should be available in the SEC tournament. And Dugas is day-to-day with that hand injury. Joubert is limping as he goes back to the dugout as he rolls out to the right side. And this will bring on Jordan Thompson. LSU leads it 3-1. Thompson, the sophomore shortstop, hitting .276, 5 homers, 23 driven in. Steve Reich on the inside part of the plate. Ronnie Rance, Lynn Rollins with you. This will likely be our final broadcast from Alex Box Stadium, Skip Bertman Field this year. We send along a heartfelt thanks to all of you college baseball fans, not only those with a particular interest in LSU, but also all of the opposing teams and college baseball fans everywhere.
Well, LSU sure has some interesting baseball bat grip colors. Check out Thompson's. What was that, a light green? It's like an Easter egg color. But
Let's call it teal.
All right. We got teal grips. We've seen orange, pink, all sorts of colors.